Welcome back. Tropical storm Dante may have left the Philippines already, but it will definitely not be the last that the country will see this year. Not to mention, there's still a global pandemic to worry about. So how can businesses, especially small ones, prepare and cope with such events? Joining us now is Nelly Dillera, the Executive Director of the Philippine Trade and Training Center, to talk more about the newly launched Payong app. Good morning, Nelly, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having us. Is this Miss Kate? I'm sorry. Good morning.
Yeah, it's Rain with you. I've seen the app, Payong app, super fresh, just uploaded on the app stores. It carries the tagline and claim that it shelters your business. How does it do that exactly? How does it help protect small, medium enterprises against disasters and even a pandemic?
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, the Philippine Trade Training Center is the training arm of the Department of Trade and Industry. So as a training provider, we're actually into training as far as the Payong app is concerned. So there are 3 modules that are offered under the application. One would be risk management. Okay, the second one is more on financial management. And then we also have awareness course on insurance. And finally, there's a canvas that can be used by entrepreneurs, which is on business continuity plan. So I just would like siguro to elaborate about the risk management, because the moment you log in, an enterprise log in and identifies where his or her location, where the location of the business is, it automatically tells the person or the entrepreneur how far or what are the possibilities that the location of that business will have, as far as, you know, flooding, how far is it from its location against for example, the earthquake belt, the typhoon belt, and then everything. So that's the first one, the first information that they can get out of that app. And the second one, financial management, it's actually one of the major topics that the Philippine Trade Training Center offers. But in this aspect, aside from providing information about pricing and costing the services or the products of these entrepreneurs, we also see to it that they also allocate, you know, certain funds for insurance, for example. Like they should allot budget or yes, a certain budget for raw materials, for the labor, for the utilities. But it's also very important for them to foresee, you know, eventualities rather. So we hope that, you know, they can also include that in their budget. And finally, awareness course on insurance. We're not endorsing a particular insurance company, but we're actually presenting a number of insurance companies that they can choose from, which are appropriate for their company. And finally, the business continuity plan is something that our entrepreneurs can work on. Like they can identify, like for example, should water be not available to the company, power is not available, staff cannot report to the work because of certain circumstances and all that. If they can foresee in advance, you know, things or situations like this, then they can also respond or anticipate and be prepared how to handle these things, so that when that particular thing happen or that particular circumstance happen, then they would be ready to respond. So that's actually the very content of the application.
That's quite a lot. Who are the target entrepreneurs of this app? Are there certain sectors or organization size for whom it would be most useful? And how many entrepreneurs are you targeting?
Yeah, actually, the DTI in general targets or provides assistance generally to micro, small, and medium entrepreneurs, because we'd like to believe that large companies or even the medium-sized companies would already have the BCPs of their own or business continuity plans of their own. So we're targeting generally micro and small and medium enterprises. Now, in terms of target, you know, coverage, since we are under the Department of Trade and Industry, we're actually covering all the target entrepreneurs of the DTI nationwide, from the regions to the provinces and even to the municipalities. So we're not only limiting the assistance to those that are registered with DTI, because this application is actually available on App Store, on Play Store for free.
And how many are those entrepreneurs registered with the DTI right now? Have you seen a significant jump from the years back? And before you came up with this app, you probably had some studies already that gave you insight about the needs of the MSMEs. What are the top problems and needs of the small entrepreneurs?
Yeah, if we look at the enterprises in the Philippines right now, it's the micro, small, and medium enterprises are still considered, the bulk, with 99.5% comprised of the micro, small, and medium enterprises. Yes, there have been studies actually conducted or organized, administered by the DTI, even at the height of the pandemic. And among the top 5 that were identified, number 1 would be financing, second is marketing, and then we have compliance to government regulations, technology upgrading, and skills and management training. So for the financing, for example, there have also been a number of programs that the DTI, I think it's not only the DTI, but a lot of government agencies have also extended. But for DTI in particular, we have the CARES program. For PTTC, we're partnering also with the Small Business Corporation. We have the HEROES program. HEROES program is actually for the OFWs. And we have another program, we call it 3A, and it's providing assistance to distressed or particularly entrepreneurs or even individuals who were greatly affected by the pandemic. So meaning no work, or their company already closed. Now, in terms of marketing, we know that there has been a digital shift. So we're actually strong. The whole DTI and all government and even the private sector is already looking into the e-commerce, end-to-end e-commerce. So we have a lot of efforts together with the private sector. I mean, the ones who are providing the platform to onboard our entrepreneurs in terms of, from onboarding them on online stores and even e-payments or even e-fulfillment. So those are the things that we're doing right now. And we're also looking at, next is compliance to government regulations. A lot of our government agencies have already made their services and made the transactions online. Technology upgrading is also another thing that's much needed. That's why Industry 4.0 is a thing that we were only discussing way back. That's something that will come some years after, but right now it's here. It's actually hastened by the pandemic, and a lot of people are going into there. And finally, for skills and management training, the Department of Trade and Industry, well, particularly PTTC, the Philippine Trade Training Center, our office, which is the training arm, we still continue on providing management trainings. But then, we're looking at one project right now. Maybe you can also accommodate us in the future. We call it Push Start. We're looking at startup entrepreneurs who can develop applications or technology solutions that are useful for our entrepreneurs in terms of marketing, okay, in terms of finance and accounting, maybe, payroll for human resource, or even finance and accounting, and even operations. So these are things that we would like to provide assistance to digitally transforming our entrepreneurs.
All right, Nelly Dillera of PTTC, thank you so much for joining us today. Lots of prospects still there, lots of programs to look forward to. We do want to hear from you again soon in the near future. We appreciate you coming on board.